Regan Benson gets banned by Englewood City Council 45 days before she can scream at them again. LIA gets banned from a random building in New York. Will he sue again? DELETELAWZ tries to erase all footage of his hurricane fundraiser. Where did the money go? Plus, Floyd Wallace counts to 1,400. All this and more on this edition of Auditing Insanity. Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast. I'm Jim Finch and I'll be bringing you 4 big stories featuring Regan Benson, Long Island Audit, Floyd Wallace, and Little D DELETELAWZ Chili de Castro. Today is a combined newscast for Wednesday and Thursday as it's Go Team Night and we're recording things early to take most of the night off. Remember that as we ask you to focus on DELETELAWZ turns fundraiser into circus. 2 days after claiming he had raised $1,300 for hurricane relief efforts, DELETELAWZ Jose Chili de Castro is facing a backlash from users as he apparently attempted to scrub all evidence of the fundraiser from the internet. De Castro's unusual announcement that he was holding a hurricane fundraiser for North Carolina with fellow YouTuber Alan Hubbs seemed to come out of the blue on Monday afternoon. Hubbs apparently shared with De Castro the state of towns in North Carolina and the urgent need for help in the area, with De Castro deciding to go live to promote the fundraiser soon after. The fundraiser itself seemed to be a burden to De Castro, who was only willing to give an hour of his time and spent the entire time complaining about his low turnout and promoting his conspiracy theory that they are conspiring against him because they know he will be governor of a state he has yet to name and change policing in America. He was not too bothered to use his personal Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and YouTube accounts to collect money during said fundraiser, promising to show receipts in a YouTube community post down the line before making both videos involving the fundraiser private on his YouTube channel. As of Wednesday morning, De Castro hadn't followed up as promised. Instead, he posted quotes from an aide to Joseph Stalin on his YouTube community page and went radio silent on Twitter. De Castro was also rattled on Monday as the first of his 2 live streams, still available on Twitter, saw De Castro highlight a comment by First Amendment Auditor Christopher Direct D. Ruff, which asks, "Are you grifting off of other people's suffering again, squirt?" The question brought De Castro to directly challenge Direct D using his fake southern accent to come through with receipts. He then dropped the voice and called Direct D the most miserable guy in the world and claimed that Direct D had 5 warrants out of Arizona so he couldn't audit the police. Claiming to be a big Direct D fan at one point, he said he was disappointed that Direct D called him a and claimed that he has stolen money from people without bringing receipts. De Castro said he felt badly for Direct D, who he claimed looked frail and unhealthy, and to bring the receipts before demanding Direct D bring people to his fundraiser for hurricane relief later that night. The outburst brought even more criticism towards De Castro as it showed how little De Castro cared for those he was supposedly helping, taking several minutes to defend his honor against a random rival rather than devote time to the cause he was promoting. De Castro has also been blasted by YouTuber Frauditor Troll in a recent video. Frauditor Troll pointed out that YouTube has managed fundraisers where they waive their cut of the money pledged through super chats and other donations and send the money directly to established established charities. With Hurricane Milton set to hit Florida today and the entire South in the path of destruction, the money raised by Castro Monday night could have gone directly to an established charity instead of some random stranger from the internet who promised to fill his truck with supplies to distribute to random people in the hurricane-ravaged area. Neither Hubs nor Castro have provided evidence that any supplies were purchased or distributed to hurricane victims as of press time. Fraudster Troll's YouTube-based hurricane relief efforts have raised a little over $1,000 as of press time. We still need your help. Despite the GoFundMe market being dead, yes, second goose egg day in a row, this publication is funded by your donations along with what little we make off of YouTube each month. Despite achieving full monetization on YouTube, we still need help to get through monthly expenses and keeping the lights on to bring you the paper and the newscast each day. If you can afford it, please consider donating to the GoFundMe run by this channel. All proceeds literally go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing new stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch our ads on our videos. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in. Floyd Wallace, out of ideas, counts to 1,400. The return of Floyd Wallace, paired with his new need for $321 towards his fees for his conviction in Texas, which he previously claimed had been paid, a new claim that he was not a and an attempt to count to 1,400 for a $50 donation highlighted Wallace's latest live stream. Starting with the pedophilia claims, Wallace began the show quite angry and claiming that he had to deny the accusations against him that he was speaking of interacting with girls who would be underage in the United States, but not in the countries that Wallace had visited. Wallace would not identify who accused him of pedophilia, nor would he say what country was involved in the accusations. But of all the things that Wallace could be defensive over, a non-issue of Wallace interacting with underage people would probably not be the first choice. The YouTuber literally said that he may impregnate his next partner against her will, that American college girls were too stuck up and worthless to get his affections, that he would be firing his defense attorney to get his trial in Oklahoma delayed, just so he could extend his next sex tour of Colombia. For everything that he could be upset over, being exposed as a pedophile is the least of his worries. Wallace had previously announced that his fines in the Texas case he's on probation for had been paid by a viewer. Apparently that wasn't the case, as suddenly Wallace needed $321 to pay off the fine and to get off of probation. He offered no explanation for it, just that all of a sudden the fines are back and his supporters needed to pay them so he can go on bringing them the further adventures of Floyd Wallace's sex life. Wallace did promise that this time, if he makes it to Colombia, he will go salsa dancing with hot women, and that if he was bribed by his chat, he'll go to the clubs, but he disliked going to the clubs because all the women at the clubs were out to poison his drinks and take his money. The YouTuber did express frustration with his chat as he said that a woman named Priscilla will never again appear on his lives. He said that he had her on once and his entire chat sexually harassed her and tried to make sexually inappropriate comments towards her. He said she was uncomfortable with being on lives, and while they remained friends, she would never again appear due to the conduct of his viewers. He then attempted to open up a panel but specified that he would only allow people on panel who had previously donated to his Cash App. When that attempt failed, as no one wanted to come on panel, he was bribed to attempt to count to 1,400 for a $50 donation. After struggling with his count for over 10 minutes, Wallace finished, only to say he'll never count like that again, turning down more money towards his fines from a request to count to 3,000. Wallace will more than likely stream again on Wednesday. Long Island Audit Ban from County Office Building. Sean Paul Long Island Audit Riaz' most recent produced video on his YouTube channel featured his recent visit to the Westchester County Office Building in Westchester, New York, after seeing his picture on display on a security station inside the building during a video produced by fellow First Amendment auditor auditing Erie County. Riaz's video focused on his current visit to the building where he wanted to access the legal department in order to do a FOIA request. The security guard stationed at the front desk informed him that he needed to fill out his request, and then it would be sent up to the legal department, and Riaz would only be permitted access to the legal department if the department approved his access. Riaz demanded the right to walk through the public building on his own when he was corrected that it was a private building with public areas. Switching tactics, Riaz asked the security guard, who was later joined by a police officer stationed at the building, why his picture was on display at the security desk. As the police officer confirmed Riaz's identity and looked up why Riaz was banned from the building, Riaz asked if things had changed in the building, as the last time he visited the building, he had free access to all the public areas without question. The security guard informed Riaz that nothing had changed and that Riaz would have to have permission to visit specific floors of the building at the time of his previous visit. Rejoining the group, the police officer informed Riaz that his previous visit was the reason for his photo being on display at the security desk. During that visit, Riaz was given access to a specific area of the building and instead filmed himself roaming the halls of the building, resulting in his complete ban. Riaz later showed footage of himself roaming the building during his previous visit, claiming that he did nothing wrong, and there was no proof that he did anything to deserve the ban. The YouTuber later investigated the parking lot of the building, claiming that there was no signage indicating that it was a private building. He was later joined by the police officer from the security desk, who informed him that he was in a private parking lot and he needed to leave, also showing Riaz the signs that indicated it was a private parking lot. Riaz did not try to argue with the police officer, but threatened a lawsuit for his ban from the building. The video prompted a $10 donation to Riaz's Support Freedom Stand Against Tyranny Together GoFundMe fund, bringing that campaign's total to $4,365 out of a $10,000 goal, and taking the day for the GoFundMe race. We still need your help. Despite the GoFundMe market being dead, this publication is funded by your donations, along with what little we make off of YouTube each month. Despite achieving full monetization on YouTube, we still need your help to get through monthly expenses and keeping the lights on to bring you the paper and the newscast each day. If you can afford it, please consider donating to the GoFundMe run by this very channel. All proceeds literally go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing new stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the ads on our videos, like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in. Benson banned by Englewood City Council. As she was leaving the bathroom to enter the Englewood City Council chambers on Wednesday, First Amendment auditor Regan Benson was approached by Englewood police officer Orion Watts, who presented her with a 45-day ban from those very Englewood City Council chambers. Benson was in the building for a hearing on her previous ban from the Englewood Public Library in the same building for allegedly harassing an allied security guard in the spring of 2024. That ban, which had been on hold as Benson's criminal charges for the same incident were decided, recently went into effect, and Benson had asked for an independent review of Englewood's rights to enforce bans. The new 45-day ban prevents Benson from entering the Englewood City Council chambers effective 4 days after issue, which would be this Friday, allowing Benson to enter her own previously scheduled hearing yesterday. Benson claimed that the service of the notice was timed time so that she would be separated from her lawyer, who was in the city council chambers when Benson was served with the notice. Benson claimed that she was not charged with breaking the law on the notice, just that she would be excluded from that portion of the building for violation of a municipal code that governs activities at Englewood City Council meetings. The ban stems from an incident Monday night where Benson refused to give her town of origin before she began speaking during the public feedback portion of the Englewood City Council meeting. All speakers are required by Englewood's municipal code to state their cross streets if they're residents of the city or their town of origin before they begin to speak. Benson refused to do so, then kept talking over Englewood Mayor Orthaniel Sierra, who ordered her to stop speaking. The city council meeting was suspended, and a call apparently was made to Englewood police to document Benson's actions. Benson refused to leave the city council chambers despite being ordered to by Sierra. Police on scene did not get involved, though Benson verbally attacked and degraded officers on her way out of the building. Despite Benson's claims, Mayor Sierra was acting as the chief administrative officer at the meeting and legally had the right to ask Benson to leave under Englewood's laws. Benson mocked Sierra in statements made in 2 live streams following service, saying he had no relevance and that she would soon prevail in the lawsuit stemming from her temporary bans from the building. According to Benson, she will be punishing the victim in the original library incident, as the victim showed up to testify via Zoom call on Wednesday. She claimed she had removed the original video of her verbal attack on the man from her YouTube channel, but now claimed that she would put the video back up as punishment for the man testifying against her at the hearing. Benson later did a FOIA request at the Englewood Police Department for a copy of the audio of the police call reporting her actions and Officer Watts' report on his service of the documents to Benson earlier that day. The YouTuber and activist promised more legal action following Wednesday's developments. And we're back. Again, it's Go Team Night, so we've had a live today at 2 p.m. Eastern instead of our normal 8 p.m., so please look for that and please watch the ads. We do make a little money off this channel each month, so watching ads is a good way to help out if you can't otherwise donate to our cause or buy our merchandise. The news operation is not free, alas. We do have expenses and we do have to eat, but watching a video or two and liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing can make all the difference to help us continue this project. Thank you in advance, and see you tomorrow.